So right off the bat, and then you guys think about what you want to say. I would say for both ends, the premium service, right? The affluent community who wants access, you sell an access pass. I've talked about this, a membership, the privilege of paying for a $500 a month membership is you get access to me through, text, through email, you get 24-hour support. You call me in the middle of the night, you've had a knee replacement, you're bleeding through the dressing, you don't know what to do. Give me a call. I'll wake up at 2 a.m. and I will look at it through a telehealth platform and tell you what I think you should do next. But the other benefit of a membership like that is premium scheduling. Nobody gets access to my Monday, Wednesday, Friday schedule between 9:30 a.m. and 11 a.m. who isn't a premium member. And you get first pick, you get top priority. Okay. The other end of the bell curve is I'm going to can or productize what I do every single day in the clinic. I am going to record. I'm going to document what I do in the clinic. I'm going to provide those answers in a video format so that somebody who is sitting there on a 6-week waiting list can buy the videos, can buy the course, whatever you want to call it, and get their questions answered. I can't even tell you how many people come into my clinic saying, I've been binge watched a bunch of your YouTube videos. You answered all of my questions, even the questions I didn't know that I would have. You had answers to them. I can't thank you enough. So that's something that I give away for free, but it could be packaged. It could be a $10, $20, $30 digital product, and it could help anywhere, not even just in this country, but now we can go overseas. So those would be my two solutions to somebody who wants to help with the wait list problem and understands that there's huge value. This is a hungry audience that's not getting served.
Yeah. So in terms of us, we just simply raise our prices. And I think also that this is great for every cash practice across the country, wait times. Now, like you said, we always want to talk about, there's certain folks that just can't afford it. We understand it, whatever. But as a sidebar, like Tony, you've probably heard or seen this, like there's people that have contacted our practice over the years that they're like, do you take Medicaid? My mother or father's on Medicaid. And then we go through the whole rigmarole. We go through a whole call or two. Then let's say myself or one of my therapists over the years, we go to the home. Turns out they're very wealthy. They had moved all their assets from the mother or father to the son or daughter and waited 3 to 5 years, then applied to Medicaid. Then it looks like you are actually low income. So there's all those games. So it's like, I know that but there is still a small chunk that I think I agree with Tony. They're like the folks that truly cannot afford. There should be something. There should be something. But the challenge, Tony, I think, is that those folks will say, well, don't you just take my Medicaid? Like, here's my insurance card, whatever. And a ton of practices across the country don't or are taking Medicaid less and less and less. And they're going to say, why am I paying out of pocket for this digital experience, this digital course, whatever Tony Meritato is talking about? Don't you just take my insurance? Don't you just take my Medicaid? So there's always that's always going to be the challenge. Now, in terms of the overall wait times across the country, it's definitely great for cash-based physical therapy. It's definitely great for cash practices where the best practices will win. And the folks that are like, oh, there's a wait time at these 2, 3, 4 other places that I called. And then they found, my practice or some other practice. They read the reviews, they checked out the website, whatever. They're like, yeah, I could see why you guys charge out of pocket or after the phone call. Now I get it. I hear it's a different phone call. I get it. That's why it's out of pocket. So it's in a good way. It hurts some of the population. I mean, I'm not in a bad way. It hurts some of the population, but in a good way, it can help the cash-based practices. I don't know. Then you got all the big corporates in the middle that I don't know if this, even affects them or not. I don't know.
Yeah. A story comes to mind. You know me, I always go on a tangent, but I'm going to bring it back, baby. Trust me. People were complaining at LAX airport about the long wait times for their luggage. They'd get off the plane, they'd deplane, they'd go stand at the carousel, and they'd wait. They'd complain. So an optimization expert was brought in. How do we get the luggage off the plane to the carousel faster? And he figured out you can't. They were actually doing it with the volume that LAX was receiving. They were doing it as fast as they possibly could. So here's how he reduced complaints, because that was his job, reduce the complaints. He figured out he couldn't make the bags go faster. He made the walk from the airplane to the carousel longer. So essentially what I'm saying is he gave them something to do while they were waiting, so they didn't realize they were waiting. So here's
like
a couple,
IKEA.
yeah, right. Here's a couple of my suggestions. Number one, I get ads all the time for this. It's more focused on business, but now that I'm sort of helping to take care of my dad post-stroke, I get text messages from his healthcare service all the time. A week, 3 days, the day before. Are you still good? Just clarifying. If you want to change, here's the link right here. I don't have to call. I can do it. Never while I'm driving. I would never do that because that's not good. But while I'm in the grocery store, oh, you know what? Dad's not feeling great. Tomorrow's not going to work. Let me make sure I don't get hit with that fee or just not show up. And I can do it right there and reschedule with one thumb. Make it easy for them, right? So if you're saying a cancel, a no-show, right, there's a list. Go hit that list up, but you got to make room. And the answer shouldn't only be have your providers work for an extra couple of nickels on a Saturday. I don't think that's the answer to keep people happy in terms of clinicians. So what I'm saying is leverage technology. There's AI-based technology that can do this thing once you set it up to make sure you have people, making sure they show up if they're scheduled and give them an easy option to reschedule. The second would be leveraging technology and telehealth. Could you be doing some triage before they ever come? If you got a 6-week wait time, can you get a telehealth visit first? Tony, is there a regulation that the first visit has to be in person or anything like that?
No, not at all. And as far as, legislation goes right now, telehealth is still a covered service under Medicare benefit until the end of this calendar year, until December 31st, 2024. Now, right now, there is no proposal to extend telehealth coverage, but all that means is that then telehealth becomes a self-pay service or telehealth can become a marketing service, and this is the thing that we do so many things that are an expense, but they're also a marketing investment. And so I would say if a telehealth visit, or we haven't talked about RTM or remote therapeutic monitoring. I've got 2 interviews coming up probably in the next week for different remote therapeutic monitoring companies that approach it differently. I think there's huge opportunity to leverage that. Finish your thought, and then I want to talk about Rory Sutherland and his approach to solving that problem for transportation.
Yeah, the last thing I'll say is, look, I just highlighted 2 uses of technology, but they solve a people problem, right? So understand, if you can solve my problem, like Tony said, don't let a crisis go unused. The people that are leveraging this, make no mistake about it, the people that are already doing the things that I'm mentioning or smarter things that I'm mentioning, they're not talking about it online. Watch the people online. They do this. They complain because they can't figure, we have these problems. The people that are actually solving it are busy solving it. So understand, people are doing the things that I'm saying. They're not talking about it because they're busy winning. So stop looking for validation because you'll be 59th in a race out of 70. Try some of these things. Try one. And my suggestion is you'll overserve them.